Hey guys, what's up? What's going on? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is another new video for you guys all about crystals and their meanings and their uses, how to activate crystals, all this types of fun stuff, which I'm super excited about. I love crystal topics, so very stoked about this video. But before we jump into this video, I do want to mention that this video is sponsored by Keene. I absolutely love Keene. They're an online psychic network with spiritual and psychic advisors to help answer your life questions. Whatever questions that you have, they are 24/7 online, where you can ask about love, relationships, career, anything that you want to know. So if you guys are interested in getting a reading from anybody, Keene is an amazing way to contact a psychic. You can use phone, email, or message, which is really convenient because sometimes if you're shy to have a phone call with somebody, you can just email a psychic or you can message them online, which is great because if you have a question at 2 in the morning or 8 in the morning, you can log in no matter where you live in the world and see which psychics are online at that time, and you can either email them or phone call them or instant message them to get your questions answered. Another great thing about Keene is that you can choose when you want to talk to these psychics. You can log in at any time, no matter where you live in the world, browse the current online psychic. You can see the amounts that they are reviewed. You can also choose based on the price of the psychic. You can have a more expensive psychic, a less expensive psychic, and you can choose the amount of time that you want to pay for with this psychic, whatever you can afford, and however many questions that you have. Maybe you only have one question, so you only want 5 minutes with a psychic or 10 minutes with a psychic. It is all up to you and what your budget is. So if you guys are interested in trying out Keene, you can head to trykeene.com/gem, where you can get your first 10 minutes for only $1.99 using my link. So that link is trykeene.com/gem, where you can get your first 10 minutes for only $1.99. So definitely check that out if you guys are interested. They are a really amazing company, and I will actually mention my own personal experience here using Keene. So I did actually try them out a couple months ago, and I did have a psychic reading with a couple different psychics. I had one that was very generic and I didn't get much out of it, and then I did try another that actually did predict something for me that came true. It was very interesting. She predicted that something very specific was going to happen for me in July. It did actually come true, and I did want to mention that here. So you can actually find good psychics, though I will say some of them are quite generic and won't really give you much information, and some of them might you might not resonate with them. So I do recommend trying out different psychics if you do try Keene, to find one that actually resonates with you and one that's actually very accurate for you. It did personally take me a couple tries till I found one that was accurate for me, and what she did predict for me did come true, which is very interesting. So I did want to mention that on here. So definitely if you guys are interested, head to trykeene.com/gem, and again, you get your first 10 minutes for $1.99 using that link. So definitely go check it out. But thank you for listening to that intro. But without further ado, let's hop right into this video all about crystals, starting now. So very first thing that I want to get into is how crystals work. So basically every single thing on this planet has an energy, and deep down in the core's crust, earth, there's intense pressure here and multiple different types of minerals. And under this intense pressure with certain gases and these minerals, they start to bond together as they melt, and as they melt and then get squished under this pressure, or they bubble up to the surface as they boil, they begin to crystallize and form different shapes. All sorts of crystals come in different shapes. Some naturally grow in a type of square formation. Some type of crystals grow in a triangular formation. There's many different types of forms that crystals can grow in, and they naturally have an underlying geometric shape that they grow in. Even though you sometimes can't tell from the outside crystal's type of shape, down in the molecular structure, they all have this type of geometrical shape that's actually correlated to the platonic solids, if you know anything about those, but that gets into a whole other subject. So since every mineral on this planet and every sort of element on this planet has a different vibration and frequency, when certain crystals are made that are made from this group of minerals and that group of minerals and this combination and that combination, you actually get crystals that have different energies and correlate to different parts of the body, correlate to different things on this planet, and all have this kind of like different fundamental energy depending on what types of minerals it's compounded by. So there's certain types of crystals that affect our emotional, mental, and physical body and spiritual body. There's many different planes of bodies that we actually have outside of our own that affect our auric field. They affect our mental, emotional plane and our spiritual plane, which is all really amazing stuff. So you can get into wild amounts of activities with crystals, which is exciting. But a lot of the times to actually use a crystal, you will need to activate a crystal. It does work on its own, but when you activate a crystal, it will actually be more powerful and correlate towards your energy more and resonate with your energy. Since everything has its own unique frequency and you yourself have your own unique frequency as well, sometimes just holding a crystal or having a crystal near you doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to affect you in the way that you really desire. Especially since you need to be on a resonant frequency for this other frequency to even do anything to you. But there are many different types of ways you can use crystals. You can use them for healing, you can use them to charge your chakras, to give you more energy, to manifest. You can use them for literally a very large variety of things. So that is a very basic explanation of the fundamentals of how crystals work. If you guys are interested in researching more, or if you want a dedicated video on how crystals work, we can get a little bit more in depth, but that is the fundamentals that you need to know about how crystals work. So now let's get into different types of crystals and their uses and how you can activate them in order to resonate with your specific frequency. So just a little disclaimer, there is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of types of crystals on this planet, and it would be really hard to go through every single types of ones. There is lots of videos on YouTube that talk about the basic crystals, and so for me personally, I'm going to try to talk about the ones that aren't as talked about on YouTube. If you guys are interested in the more basic types of crystals like quartz, rose quartz, stuff like that, I'm going to go over a little bit of them, but if you guys want to know more of those basic types of crystals, there's so many on YouTube. So you could just YouTube crystals and their meanings if you guys are interested in finding out about the more common types of crystals. I'm not going to call them basic because they're still just as powerful as any other crystal, but just because there are so many videos made already about these crystals, I'm only going to just skim over the more common ones and then talk about some less common ones, but they're still kind of common, but they're just less talked about here on YouTube. So the first crystal that I want to talk to you guys about today is Lapita Light. This is one of my favorite crystals ever. It is this purplish kind of color right here, and this is a really, really amazing crystal. Honestly, one of my favorites. It comes in a lighter purple and then also a pinkish kind of purpley color as well. There's many different types of Lapita Light, but the reason why this is one of my favorite crystals, it is actually an anti-anxiety crystal because its base mineral is lithium, which is used in a lot of anti-anxiety, anti-depression type of medicines. And since it actually contains that material, it influences your energetic field when you have it near you or on you. You can literally place this over your heart if you're having anxiety or a panic attack to help calm you down. This is a more natural way to reduce stress or reduce anxiety or panic attacks or depression. Since it does have that high lithium content, even having it near you influences your energetic field and can get a little bit absorbed by the skin. Having it on you, since your skin actually does absorb quite a bit of the things that it does touch, it can actually help calm you down from any stress, anxiety, or depression. The next one that I want to talk about is one of my other favorite types of crystals. It is ocean jasper. These are so beautiful. Absolutely one of my favorite types ever. I do want to show you this crystal specifically. It has these really cool parts on it where it looks like there's bits of holes on it, and you can actually see some like deeper crystallization inside of it. The cool thing about ocean jasper is it's not very common. It's actually found in Madagascar in some of the caves that are there only when the tides are low enough that you can actually go into these caves. It's actually kind of dangerous to mine for this crystal, but there are certain people that do it because it is such a beautiful and more rare type of crystal. And it does also come in a pink color, and there's many different types of ocean jasper that you can find, and it is made kind of like underneath the ocean, and these kind of look like little barnacles in my opinion, and they honestly might be, but I really don't know enough about it to comment on that. But it does actually increase your mood to be very happy, and it does wash away old things, just kind of like how the ocean always recycles and cleans away stuff, and just overall is really good for the earth and cleanses the earth a lot. It also cleanses your energetic field, having it near you, since it has a lot of the ocean's influence in it, a lot of that energetic influence, and so it actually uplifts your mood to a very happy mood, and it does increase your overall well-being. It's honestly one of my favorite crystals to have around, especially when I want that mood uplift, when I want to feel really happy, when I want to cleanse away any old things that I'm feeling. It really helps you cleanse away old stuff in your past, wash it away so you can step into a new self, into a new future, onto a new path, and forget about, or not necessarily forget about, but in order to like wash away things that might be holding you back. It's good for cord cutting, all this kind of stuff, and stepping into the best version of you. The next crystal that I want to talk about is Crysocolla. This is another one of my absolute favorite crystals. This is kind of what it looks like right here. And the reason why this is another one of my favorite crystals is this actually helps with public speaking or speaking in general. Having this near you will actually help you have a more clear mind, very concise communication. It opens up your throat chakra. It's honestly, hands down, one of my favorite crystals to have around. If you have a job where you need to speak in front of people, speak to people, speak one-on-one with somebody, do any public speaking, do any events, those types of things, having this type of crystal around you will help with your speaking abilities to convey your message in the most beautiful way possible. I literally love this crystal. It helps so much. Having it near you, holding it, increases your confidence while speaking. It really opens up that throat chakra so that you don't get all raspy. It helps calm down your anxiety. So it honestly is amazing. If you're ever doing any public speaking, I highly recommend having Lapita Light and Chrysocolla at the same time, just since this one gets rid of, any anxiety, panic attacks, stuff like that. And then this one opens up your throat chakra, helps you convey whatever message that you're wanting to convey to its utmost purest, clearest form. The next crystal that I want to talk about, which is another one of my favorites right here, is Rubellite. So this is also known as red tourmaline. This is hands down another one of my absolute favorite crystals because having this near you is like having a boost of energy. It's like having an extra coffee cup. This will help keep you awake, stimulated. It's really good for that stimulation. It's also really good at helping you live the life that you want to live and let go of expectations, let go of standards, let go of anything that's no longer serving you, and helps you step into only doing the things that you love to do. And it really pushes you into just doing the things that you love to do. This is one of those stones that actually, when I had gotten a bunch of these from my wholesaler to sell in my shop, I remember having them near me, and all of a sudden my life literally did a 180, and a whole bunch of things just like started changing in my life. And I got rid of the things that were no longer serving me, and I also stepped into the self that I felt empowered, I felt creative, I felt like I could be me. It really helped me step into me and to live the life that I really wanted to live. So I really, really love Rubellite for that reason. Again, it's also kind of like having a coffee cup on you at all times. So if you're working long hours of the day, literally keeping some Rubellite either in your bra or in your pocket or in your purse, anywhere that you want to keep it that's close to you. This is like having that extra boost of energy wherever that you are. So highly recommend Rubellite as well. While we're on the tourmaline subject, I also want to talk about black tourmaline. This is a fundamental crystal in my opinion. Like if you guys are just starting your crystal collection, I highly recommend black tourmaline for anybody. So black tourmaline is really amazing at cleansing away old negative energies. It also cleanses your current crystals, because if you guys don't know, usually you're supposed to cleanse most of your crystals every once in a while to get rid of the negative energies that it can kind of absorb, because a lot of crystals do absorb the negative energy out of the environment and help put in its positive energy into the environment while taking away the negative energy. But once in a while you'll need to cleanse them in order to take away the negative energy that it has absorbed outside of the environment in order to keep cleansing. It's like an air filter. You need to kind of clean it once in a while. So black tourmaline is actually one of those crystals that if you have it near other crystals, it will naturally cleanse them. And black tourmaline, you never need to cleanse it, technically speaking. There's some people that I know that still like to cleanse their black tourmaline anyway. For me personally, whenever I touch this crystal, it always feels like it's clear to me. So I love having this near myself. I always have one in my house. I always have them near other crystals. I have many in my house, to be honest with you, but black tourmaline is one of those fundamental crystals that I highly recommend to anybody starting their crystal collection, because it does absorb any negativity out of the environment and out of yourself as well. Any negative energies, any sadness, depression, anger, anxiety, stuff like that. Very grounding as well. So if you're one of those people that tends to be up in their head a lot, this can tend to be very grounding and bring you back to your center and back down to earth. The next crystal that I want to talk about, where are you? Okay, so this right here, this is shungite. Shungite is another one of those must-have crystals in my opinion. Shungite actually does absorb EMF waves out of technology and from your environment. And if you know what EMF waves are, they're kind of like the electromagnetic frequency waves that actually have a bit of radiation in them that can cause cancer from technology. And you literally have it pretty much in any technology that's around you, whether it's a printer, a TV, your phone, laptop, anything like that, does emit EMF waves into your environment. So having shungite in your house can actually help absorb those EMF waves that are lingering around your house and take them away from the space that you dwell in. So I highly recommend having shungite near you. It does also have an electric charge as well. It also does a lot of other things. It helps calm you down. It also absorbs the negativity out of you. If you guys want to know anything about crystals, usually black crystals will be very grounding and they absorb the negative energy away. Blue crystals, if they are light blue, correlate to the throat chakra. Dark blue correlates to the throat and third eye chakra. Purple crystals usually do third eye and crown chakra types of healing. Anything green correlates to the heart. Anything yellow usually correlates to the solar plexus. Anything orange usually correlates to the sacral chakra, and anything red usually correlates to the root chakra. Now, this is not always the case, but for the most part, this is a really quick way of knowing what a crystal does based on its color. But usually there's a few other things that go into a crystal than just its color, but that is a fundamental way of kind of being able to tell crystals apart. All right, so the next crystal that I want to talk about, which is another one of my absolute favorites, is Shiva Lingam. This comes from only one place, which is in India in the Narmada River. So this is a really cool crystal. It literally is only from that one place. But this actually has divine feminine and masculine energy within it. It also does one really amazing thing for women and men, but for women, it actually helps your hormone production and balances your feminine hormones, specifically the ones that are great for baby making. Usually when people have Shiva Lingam in the bedroom, it's known that you will get pregnant right away because it does stimulate those hormones to make you pregnant. It's also really good for vaginal health. Not that you put it up there, though there's some people that do, but I have not done personally enough research about it to know if that's actually good for you or not. But I do know that Shiva Lingam, just having it near you, near your energetic field, or placing it on your tummy, near your reproductive system, can actually help regulate your hormones in that area and help you and balance out all of your divine feminine energy. And Shiva Lingam also does help with men as well. It helps with impotency or anything like that, so it balances out the male hormones as well in the reproductive system. It's really good for any reproduction in general, so if anyone here is trying to conceive or anything like that, having Shiva Lingam in the bedroom does help a lot with that. It is known for one of those things. And also another really amazing thing about Shiva Lingam, if you are wanting to have a Kundalini awakening, Shiva Lingam is actually really good at stimulating a Kundalini awakening or helping walk you through a Kundalini awakening and helping the Kundalini rise through all of your chakras. It's really good for that. It's really good for enlightenment, anything like that, having this around your home or near you or in your energetic field or while meditating. Also, I do want to mention about Shiva Lingam, it does come in multiple different sizes. This is more of a medium size, but it also comes in a small size like that. It also comes in very large sizes as well. There's many different sizes that you can get. The more common one are the ones that are about that big, but I do have some large ones around my house just because I really like their energy, and it has a really amazing balance between masculine and feminine energy. The next crystal that I want to talk about that I absolutely love is chrysoprase. This right here was actually a favorite by Alexander the Great when he wanted to take over a lot of lands in the world. He would always have chrysoprase on him. He had rings made of chrysoprase, necklaces, all this kind of stuff. One really amazing thing about this crystal though is it is one of the best mood stabilizers. It helps heal the heart. It is great for anti-depression, especially after breakups or anything like that, when your heart is really heavy or you have a lot of things that you've been through, a lot of pain, anything like that. This actually really helps heal your heart, bring you back to your center, your calmness, back to a loving state. I absolutely love this crystal. Anytime I have it near me, I actually feel energized, but calmly energized, if that makes sense. It's like a boost of energy, but while feeling completely tranquil. It's not even necessarily calm. It's actually the word tranquil is the best way to describe chrysoprase type of energy. I love having this near me. This is one of my absolute favorite crystals to have around me or in my house. So highly recommend some chrysoprase if any of you are looking for any type of heart healing or just a mood stabilizer in general, or just to feel good and positive. I love having this crystal around. One of my next favorite crystals is called Scolasite right here. It is this beautiful white crystal. I absolutely love this one. If any of you have insomnia or anything like that, I am somebody who naturally has sleeping issues, all that kind of jazz. And Scolasite is known to actually help you fall asleep, especially if you have insomnia. It helps relaxes your body and puts you into the REM type of sleep mode quite immediately once you fall asleep. So having this under your pillow or on your nightstand before you fall asleep is really amazing. Though carrying this around during the day won't actually make you tired per se, it'll just help keep you in a very calm and relaxed mood as well. It's again one of those mood stabilizer type of crystals, but it is known for its sleep aid properties. So I love having this one beside my bed or under my pillow when I'm sleeping, because I am someone who suffers from insomnia, but having this around, I did actually notice a difference. Whether it's placebo effect or the actual crystal, that's up to you to decide, but it did work for me. So I love having Scolasite around my house. So the next stone that I want to talk about is blue Chalcedony. I absolutely love this crystal. For one, it is one of the most beautiful crystals I've ever seen. It's like almost translucent and blue, and it's just, oh, it's gorgeous. It looks like a cloud of blue, but like a really wet cloud of blue. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just gorgeous, guys. But this crystal specifically is also really good for public speaking. Kind of just how Chryssocolla is really good for public speaking. These both are extremely good at opening up and stimulating your throat chakra. So if you have any public speaking to do, if you are a singer, if you are an actor and you want to get your lines right and you really want to open up your throat, pronounce words correctly, be very concise and clear in anything, whether you're wanting to be clear and concise with a friend, a lover, your family member, anything at all, and you want to convey a message in a very clear and concise manner that's very understood by the other person, having any blue Chalcedony or Chrysocolla near you really helps do that. This one I find is a bit more calming, and this one is a little bit more concise. So if you want a bit of a more concise particular message, I find Chrysocolla is better for the more clear, concise type of message. Chrysocolla is great at that. But then blue Chalcedony, this is really good at the more calming type of message. When you want to come across very confident, but yet stimulating, but yet calm. So I actually recommend this one a bit more for when you're having a talk with a family member or a lover and you want to say something that has been on your mind, but you don't really necessarily have the confidence to say it, or you don't want to come across in the wrong way type of deal. Blue Chalcedony is amazing at helping you speak your mind while doing it in a very confident, clear, but calming, nurturing type of manner. The next few crystals that I want to talk about, and I'm going to talk about a couple different ones at the same time since they kind of relate to each other, is the Aura Quartz family. So we have Angel Aura Quartz, which is a very common type of Aura Quartz. Angel Aura Quartz is the combination, I think, of platinum and quartz, and it kind of creates this rainbow effect. And it does stimulate your auric field and help balance your auric field. The next one that we have is Sunset Aura Quartz, which I believe is, I'll have it somewhere in a bubble off to the side. I always forget what these are made of, but I do remember that the Aqua Aura Quartz is gold plus quartz, which is very interesting because you'd think that Sunset Aura Quartz was the gold plus quartz, but it's actually the opposite. It's actually the blue one is made out of gold combined with quartz, and it creates this bluish, like, beautiful hue in quartz, and it ends up looking kind of like an ocean. And they all stimulate your auric field and help balance it. I do notice that, for example, Angel Aura Quartz, which kind of has like all the different colors of the rainbow inside of it, this helps stimulate the entire auric field. And I do find like all of them do that, but when I have like the blue one around that is mostly just the blue different colors, it actually stimulates that section of the body the most, which is actually your third eye and your throat chakra. Both are a blue hue. And then, for example, this one right here, which is Sunset Aura Quartz, it kind of has reds, blues, and yellows in it, is more of your grounding chakras and your more earthly chakras, which is the solar plexus, the sacral chakra, and the root chakra. So I do find this one stimulates that more, although I kind of feel this one everywhere, every single time anyway, but I do find that it focuses more on those chakras. So that is something cool about the Aura Quartz family. I do highly recommend those as well. Although I do want to mention, a lot of people do think that they are natural natural stones, but they are not. They are lab-made stones, but there's nothing wrong with lab-made stones. I do find that they still have a very powerful property, but they aren't naturally occurring in nature. They are actually lab-made stones. The next crystal that I want to talk about is aventurine. So this is actually a very common crystal. This is one that is commonly talked about, but I find that this one does stimulate your heart chakra, but also brings in money. So if any of you guys want to bring in money, having some aventurine, whether on a bracelet or a necklace, on you at all times, or you can keep a tumbled stone in your pocket or in your purse or anything like that, or just a smaller piece of aventurine on you, it can actually help you attract money, which is really amazing. But it does also stimulate the heart chakra, help open and cleanse the heart chakra as well. Another really cool crystal is Lapis Lazuli. So this is another one of those common crystals, and it does have fragments of pyrite in it, which is fool's gold. This is a very, very beautiful stone, and actually back in ancient Egypt, Cleopatra used to grind up Lapis Lazuli and use it as eye makeup, which is really cool, which is where she got her blue eyeshadow from, which I find is a very fascinating thing. But Lapis Lazuli helps bring in fortune. It also helps stimulate your third eye chakra and bring up your psychic senses, things like that. It helps cleanse, all these different types of things. Again, I'm going to keep these a little bit more short because the more common crystals are out there quite a bit, and there's a lot of videos of people talking about the more common crystals quite a bit. Another amazing crystal that I think is another fundamental crystal to have is amethyst. I love amethyst. Having amethyst around can raise your psychic senses. It helps raise your vibration as well. It's also a really interesting one because at times throughout history, amethyst was known to actually be more expensive than diamonds at certain points of history, which is really interesting until they found out that there's actually a plethora of amethyst around the world, and it's a lot more common than diamonds, which is actually why it's no longer so much more expensive than diamonds. But there was points through history where amethyst actually used to be more expensive than diamonds. But another cool thing about amethyst is that it actually also helps aid in addiction. So if you're ever addicted to something, or you have habits or anything like this, whether it's a bad habit or you are addicted to coffee or whatever that you have, having amethyst around can help break addictions or bad habits as well. So it's really another cool thing about amethyst. Another really great crystal to have is pyrite, and so I did talk a little bit about pyrite because it is included in this lapis lazuli, but having pyrite, just pyrite alone, is a very masculine energy. It helps with self-confidence though. So this is why I like to have pyrite around me all the time, especially if I'm feeling a little bit shy or a little bit unconfident or self-conscious that day. Having pyrite around, if you're going to an event or anything like that and you're battling shyness or anything like that, having pyrite around will raise your confidence. You'll be able to talk a lot more. You'll just feel a lot more alive and just more confident in yourself without becoming like overly too confident. Having pyrite around is the most amazing balance of self-confidence and self-love in a very Mars type of way. Like whenever I think of pyrite, I think of the planet Mars because it has this masculine vibe that just is very outgoing. It's a very outgoing type of crystal. So I highly recommend having pyrite around if you're trying to work on your self-confidence or your outgoing abilities. One more crystal that I really want to talk about is this crystal right here. This is crimson quartz, also known as crimson fire quartz, also known as hematoid quartz. So this is basically iron infused with quartz. This specific one has been heated up in order to create a very clear look in it. It's very beautiful. You can actually find rainbows in them as well, which is just absolutely stunning. But the reason I really love this crystal is it always helps alleviate my period cramps, to be very blunt with you. So if any of you women out there experience that time of the month cramps, having this and placing it kind of like on your abdomen, right below your belly button while on your period, if you're having any sort of cramps, actually balances that out. I think it's because of the high iron content that's in here. It really helps stimulate the hormones that are around there and helps with blood flow. Usually cramps is caused when your uterus is trying to get the blood out, if that makes sense, and it kind of cramps up in order to push all the, you know, stuff, kind of push it away. So hematoid quartz is really great for stimulating this area, balancing it out, and helping the blood flow out without crazy cramps happening. So I actually always keep this stone around. Again, whether it's placebo effect or not, I personally believe that it is actually working, but maybe that's why it works. Who knows? you guys can decide for yourselves whether or not you want to believe that this stuff is real or not, but I really love hematoid quartz for that specific reason. So any of you ladies out there that are looking for an alternative method to get rid of period cramps, hematoid quartz is one of my go-to methods. So another crystal that I want to talk about right now is Rhodonite. So this is another one of my favorite crystals, specifically because it's similar to rose quartz, where it actually stimulates love and helps love in relationships. So say you and your partner maybe are going through like a more tension type of time, having Rhodonite around or having a piece of Rhodonite each can actually help bring back that more loving side of you and put the loving side of you out to the front and help you realize the patterns that are going on in relationships. It helps break old sort of reoccurrent patterns that are happening. It also helps the love come out in the relationship, also stimulates the loving side of you and your partner. It's a great crystal to have around if you're having any relationship tension. It actually alleviates all of that. It also helps if you're single and you've gone through a breakup recently. It helps your heart heal from that, and it helps your heart get ready for a new love and also attract a new love as well. One that is a very balanced love. It helps balance out current relationships, helps you attract a balanced relationship, all sorts of stuff like that. So this is Rhodonite, another really amazing stone and one of my favorites. So now let's get into how to activate a crystal. So if you have a crystal in front of you, whatever that may be, this right here is just Rubellite, for example. If you're wanting to activate a crystal, you can hold it in your left hand closest to your heart. Hold it right here, and then with your right hand, bring an energy down from the universe, from the cosmos, and just feel like white light coming down and heading into this hand. You can either bring it down with this hand, or you can hold it up with this hand and imagining white light coming in here and filling up this crystal. Imagine this crystal being cleansed in your hand, and you literally just imagine this happening, and I promise you it is working, even if you feel like it is or not. Just imagining it will make it work for you. So then you hold it in this hand, cleanse this crystal, and then begin to fill it up with that white light energy. And then you can also program the crystal, and you can tell the crystal what your intentions are with that crystal. And so whether you want to manifest love or you want to manifest balance, confidence, self-love, self-empowerment, if you want to manifest more energy, if you want it to boost your energy per day and every day, just tell this crystal that you want it to absorb some energy from the universe and give you a boost every morning when you wake up, that type of thing. You can do anything that you want with crystals and manifest certain things with them, or program it with certain intentions, stuff like that. So as you're bringing in that energy from the universe, and as you fill that crystal with that energy by just closing your eyes and imagining all of that white light energy beginning to expand in the palm of your hand inside of this crystal, you then set that intention, whatever you want it to be. And as you set that intention, you imagine this crystal growing with that energy, and you'll feel it in your hand begin to do so. And if not, it doesn't matter. Maybe doing this a couple times before you get the hang of it will help you be able to feel it eventually. But even if you don't, it is working. So just continue to do this, and then you can just end the prayer and end it on whatever note that you want. Say thank you, so much love, however you want to end that programming session, and then you just have your new programmed crystal, and it will then resonate with your energy. Since it's holding on to your intentions, it now has its own consciousness, its own energy. Any energy or anything on this planet has a resonant frequency, has energy, therefore has a type of consciousness. Anything with energy, which is anything on this planet, air, everything around us, has a type of consciousness. It may not be the same type of consciousness as humans do, but it's a similar type of consciousness on a different dimensional plane. You can think of it however you want to, but there is consciousness existing everywhere around us. So even in crystals, they do have their own consciousness. When you set an intention into a crystal, it then has a conscious intention in it from you, therefore resonates with you. I hope that's making sense. So that is how you program a crystal, and that is how you activate a crystal in the quickest, easiest way possible, and a very powerful way too, might I say. And I do use that for most of my crystals around my house, and that is how I work with crystals, and that is my quick crystal rundown video. If you guys are interested in learning about more different crystals and their meanings, please comment down below or give this video a big thumbs up. I would love to make a more dedicated video video on more crystals and more meanings. This is a lot of crystals even to begin with for this video, but I did want to throw in as many as possible, but also have a lot that are less commonly talked about, because I do notice when there's some crystal videos made on YouTube, a lot of them talk about the same ones like quartz and rose quartz. Not that there's anything wrong with those crystals. I have a ton of them around my house and I love them so much, but since I'm making a crystal video, I wanted to add in some crystals that are less commonly talked about here. So I hope you guys liked this one, but if you guys want to know more about extra crystals, since there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them out there, please comment down below if you are interested in seeing that type of video, or give this video a big thumbs up for me. And definitely give Keene a little check out. The link is down below if you guys want to head out to their site just to check it out. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!